Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to talk about two different players. Two players that Barcelona have been linked with over the past 24 hours. And Barcelona right now are in search of two different attackers. And that does consist of Raheem Sterling and Dani Olmo. It does say here, according to Fernando Polo, that Barcelona wants to sign a forward in January. And there are two options that they really do like. That is Raheem Sterling and Dani Olmo. So it is quite clear that Barcelona do want to strengthen the front line. There has been reports that Barcelona have regained some funds through player sales over the summer and wage cuts. So what we are going to be doing within this video is break this down into two different parts. We're going to be talking about Raheem Sterling first and then moving on towards Dani Olmo. We are going to be asking, what is the hype behind these two players? Why would Barcelona want to bring in these two players? And how would these two players actually fit within FC Barcelona? And of course, these are going to be two players that are not going to be coming at the same time. Barcelona do have a choice. Is it going to be Sterling or Olmo? And let's first start with Raheem Sterling. So let's look at some of the numbers that Sterling has displayed over the past 4 seasons. Starting with the 2018-2019 season, he has scored 25 goals and provided 14 assists. Moving on towards the next season, 31 goals and 5 assists. Moving on towards the next season, he has scored 14 goals and provided 9 assists. Moving on to the current season, he currently does have 1 goal and 1 assist. You look at these numbers here and you can see that Sterling, he is a striker. These are numbers that do come from a world-class striker. So you can see that it is quite clear that there is a reason why the fans are so hyped behind the signing of Sterling to FC Barcelona. Now, why would he want to come here? Why would Sterling want to move to Barcelona? So there has been reports stating that he actually does want to come to Barcelona, and this is according to Fernando Polo. It has also been said that the plans between Sterling and Pep Guardiola, it has been greatly reduced. Now, why is that the case? Why is the relationship between Pep Guardiola and Sterling actually reducing? Why doesn't Pep Guardiola see Sterling like he used to? So if we go back to the numbers that we were talking about, I'm going to give you guys more context in order for us to understand just where Sterling is actually going with City at this moment. Between the years of 2018 and 2020, those 2 seasons, Sterling was playing as a left attacking midfielder. He was playing as a left winger. He was also playing as a left wing forward. And so the majority of the time, he was taking care of the left flank position. This was a time where he was bringing out his best display. As a matter of fact, Sterling has reached such a high level at that time that even a Barcelona legend called out that player and said, this is a player that can be one of the best players in the world. And that is Xavi Hernandez. Xavi Hernandez did say back on September 2019 that he does admire Sterling. And this is what he did have to say. And I quote, "You look at young players who can be crowned in the future, best in the world, and you still think of Neymar, Mbappe, Salah, and of course, Sterling. I look at the moment and Sterling is winning the race. He's always been a good player, a dangerous player, but under Pep Guardiola, he becomes one of the best in the world." And just for a quick side note, yes, there has been rumors regarding Sterling and Xavi. Many are saying that maybe the only reason why Barcelona want to bring in Sterling, it is because of a request coming from Xavi Hernandez, and that there is a deal going on between Xavi Hernandez and FC Barcelona. But there's nothing really much between Xavi and Barcelona. These are just rumors. It is all just fake narratives, fake stories. I'm going to be completely ruling off this story here, but it's just also very interesting to actually think about that, to know that Xavi Hernandez actually does admire a player like Sterling. And as we continue to run through these numbers, if we were to look at the 2020-2021 season and the 2021-2022 season, there is a big shift in positions. In the 2020-2021 season, we started to see Sterling become more of a center forward. In the 2021-2022 season, which is right now, he is almost fully a center forward. And if you were to compare that to the years of 2018 through 2020, yes, Sterling's position has greatly changed. And one of the main reasons on why Sterling shifted his position under Pep Guardiola, it is because of the emergence of Phil Foden and the transfer of Grealish. And that is the reason why the plans with Sterling and Pep Guardiola is greatly changing. It is because Pep Guardiola is moving on, and that is where Barcelona do come in. And Barcelona can say, look, Sterling, we have a plan. We have a specific way on wanting to use you. We want you in the starting 11. We understand that you at City may not work out in the end, and that is why we want to come here and bring you a great sporting plan. Now, of course, there is going to be backlash, because now that we know that Sterling's best position is on the left flank, he can play again as a left attacking midfielder, a left winger, a left wing forward. Ansu Fati plays in that left flank. And so how would that be handled between Ansu Fati and a player like Sterling if Sterling were to come in? Now, obviously, this is going to be for a later video. If Sterling to Barcelona actually gets into a situation where it does become very serious, we are going to be discussing how would Barcelona handle the minutes between Ansu Fati and a player like Sterling. Now, let's move on towards Dani Olmo. Now, this is going to be a much easier case to discuss, and I'm saying that because Dani Olmo has been linked with FC Barcelona Barcelona before, which was about 2 or 3 months ago. And it says here, according to Fernando Polo, Barcelona tried to sign Dani Olmo on deadline day, but RB Leipzig's demands were unattainable. The agreement with the player was complete and the clubs will negotiate the transfer again in the winter transfer market. Now, what is the hype behind Dani Olmo? Now, Dani Olmo is a player that can score, he can bring an assist, he can bring the second to last pass that leads towards goals, he knows how to dribble in tight spaces, he is a player that can link up with the striker, with the midfielder. Dani Olmo is a player that can do everything, and if you were to pay attention to his game at RB Leipzig, he is a player that also likes to be very deep and receive the ball in his own half. He's a much deeper player compared to a player like Sterling, and when you do have all of these qualities in your disposal, yes, of course, there is going to be a tremendous amount of hype behind that player. Now, why would Barcelona want to bring Dani Olmo in? Well, first of all, many of us already do know by now that he is an academy player. He does come from the Barcelona academy, and we know that because he came from the academy, he is going to be greatly fitting into the Barcelona system. He understands how Barcelona should be playing. Now, why did Dani Olmo move in the first place? Because this is a player that did leave back in the year of 2014, and one of the main reasons why he has left Barcelona at such a young age, at the age of 16 years old, it is because at that time the MSN was emerging. Iniesta and Xavi and Busquets were going into their primes of their careers, and you look at how Barcelona were being run in that first team. You saw how the MSN were going to be there for the next 6 to 7 years. You saw how Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, and a player like Rakitic was also a player that was coming into Barcelona. Many academy players were looking at this and saying, maybe we might not have a chance by the time we turn 18 to 19 years old. Because 16 years old, let me tell you, like 16 years old, you do have a chance to actually play in the first team. Look at Gavi. Look at a player like Pedri. Dani Olmo was very close to the time where he was going to be evaluated by the first team. So at that time, many academy players believed that they could not make it into the first team based off how the first team was run. Exactly how Xavi Simons left FC Barcelona at a young age to PSG. Exactly how Eric Garcia left to Manchester City at a very young age. Dani Olmo is just another player compared to Xavi Simons and Eric Garcia. It is the exact same case. And now I believe that because Barcelona is coming to approach a player like Dani Olmo, Dani will not hesitate on that call-up. Dani will come in with a lot of enthusiasm to succeed within the first team and get the chance to play in the first team like he always wanted. But now let's evaluate his position, right? Where could he fit? Because this is where I believe it gets the most complicated for Dani Olmo and FC Barcelona, because at Leipzig, 33% of the time they played in a 3-5-2 system, 28% of the time they played in a 4-2-3-1, 6% of the time they played in a 3-4-3, and 5% of the time they have played in a 4-3-3. So the majority of the time, RB Leipzig was playing in a 3-5-2 system, and Dani Olmo, within that system, he was either playing as a right attacking midfielder and a second striker. But because Barcelona is a team that likes to implement the 4-3-3 system, it's really going to come down between him playing as an interior in the midfield or as a right winger. Now, when it does come to Dani Olmo playing in the interior position, you have Gavi, you have Ricky Puig, you have Pedri, and you have Frankie de Jong. All of these players that I have just named here are generational talents, players that Barcelona are going to be wanting to work with. If Barcelona want to have a future for the next 6 to 8 to 10 years, you have to work and develop players like Gavi, Puig, Pedri, and Frankie de Jong. And then let's move on towards the right wing position, which I believe is where Dani Olmo can find the most minutes at Barcelona. You have Dembele and Demir. Dembele is a player that we know when he is fit, he will be a starter for FC Barcelona. As for Demir, I do believe that Demir has a higher potential compared to Dani Olmo at Barcelona. Demir is just a very talented footballer that understands how to operate on the right flank. But if Dani Olmo were to come in January 2022, then yes, Dani Olmo can see 60 to 70% of the minutes on the right flank. But here's one of the biggest problems that I do see. Dani Olmo has shown that he is not really a goal scorer if you were to compare him to Raheem Sterling. And Barcelona right now is a club that is greatly needing wingers that know how to score, which is why many are eyeing a player like Sterling to come to FC Barcelona. If Barcelona have the objective to find a right winger or a left winger or a striker that knows how to score goals, Sterling will be the ideal one. And that is why I'm going to come with the conclusion that if that's going to be the case, if Barcelona want to bring in goal scorers, I don't believe that the signing of Dani Olmo is going to be necessary. If Barcelona came with the idea of wanting more creators and also maybe scoring a goal and assist here and there, then Dani Olmo would be the ideal player. But as of now, if we were to talk about Dani Olmo and Raheem Sterling would be the ideal transfer in January 2022. But that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona Daily News. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.